Free Henry! What's up, YouTube? I'm Liora Sophie, and I'm a writer of urban fantasy and spiritual fiction. In this video, I'm going to talk about things that keep queer kids in the closet, according to quotes from Red, White, and Royal Blue. We cannot take apart Red, White, and Royal Blue and analyze it for all of its beauty without touching on the fabulous queer representation and queer theory that it holds. A lot of other things are just really, read the book, you'll get it. This theme about the closet is a little more subtle. So I am going to bring up these quotes and tell you what I think. Excuse my lack of a British accent here. I'm not even gonna try. Gran sat me down the day after I finished my A-levels and made it abundantly clear I was not to let anyone know about any deviant desires I might be beginning to harbor that might reflect poorly upon the crown, and there were appropriate channels to maintain appearances if necessary. The first thing that keeps queer kids in the closet is their parents or their grandparents or people in their lives who matter to them, significant adults in their lives, telling them, no, even if you think you might be gay, you're not, okay? It's just not what we do. It's not how we do things. This is a thing that still happens. Yeah, people still tell their kids this. Though I do suppose Percy would look a bit out of place in the box, wouldn't he? Philip, B says. Oh, don't be so dramatic, B, Philip says dismissively. I only meant he's a peculiar sort, isn't he? Those frocks he wears, a bit much for Wimbledon. Henry's face is calm and genial, but one of his knees has shifted over to dig into Alex's. They're called dashikis, Philip, and he wore one once. Right, Philip says. I don't judge. I just think, remember when we were younger and you'd spend time with my mates from uni or Lady Agatha's son, the one that was always quail hunting? You could consider more mates of similar standing. This exchange between Henry and his siblings, this is probably one of the main things that made me even look into this concept of things that keep queer kids in the closet. Now, what's the queer representation here? What's going on? Philip is talking about Henry's best friend, Percy. Percy we don't know what his sexual orientation is necessarily, except that we do know he's attracted to women, but he's eccentric. He wears nail polish and he colors his hair bright pink, and he is very extra. He's extra. It doesn't even matter that Pez is not gay. What matters is that Philip here is expressing a very negative opinion of someone who looks and acts like that in front of his closeted brother. And this is a point that a lot of people don't realize, but this is absolutely one of the main things that keeps queer kids in the closet. You don't ever know who you're talking to. And when you say things like gay people are weird, or I don't understand men having to put on dresses, anytime you make fun of a queer person or you express any kind of negative opinion about queer people, there is a queer kid listening who is shoved further back into the closet. This happens. My own friends used to say stuff in front of me all the time about the gays and women loving women. And what I remember vividly this one time where I was sitting on the bench at my house, okay? We were sitting outside in my parents' garden on a swing, me and like 4 other friends, and we were talking about how mono is transmitted or something. I don't know, whatever. We were weirdos when they're like, well, it's most likely transmitted from a boy to a girl because of whatever. And I said, well, what about from a girl to a girl? Can girls give it to each other? And my friend was just like, oh, please, let's not talk about that. Oh my God. At that time, I was already romantically involved with another friend in that group. And so it was in front of both of us. It's so hurtful, so painful, because you can't speak up and you don't get to stand up for yourself in that moment. When you're in the closet and someone in front of you is saying, oh my God, the gays, they're so blank, and you don't get to stand up and say, hey, I'm gay, we're not all like that. You don't get to stand up and say, hey, I'm bi and I am hurt by what you just said because you're in the closet. So you don't know. You can't defend yourself, and you can't learn to love yourself and accept yourself because all sorts of things. Because for one, peer pressure. You want to be cool. You want to think the same things that everyone thinks, and so you're more likely to just kind of want to laugh it off and be like, oh yeah, lesbians are gross. Yeah, I would never kiss a girl. I would never. I mean, I did earlier this afternoon, but like I would never. Oh my god, gross. You never know who's in the room. You never know who you're talking to. Closeted queer kids can hear your homophobic opinions. Alex, coming out to his dad, says it's different when it's your own kid. Why is it that Alex doesn't immediately come out to both of his parents? Alex's parents are Democrats. Alex's parents are openly supportive of the LGBT community. Alex's dad reminds him he is the patron saint of gender-neutral bathrooms in California. Alex's mom has an entire binder on the LGBT community. So why is it that he doesn't just feel like safe to call him up and say, hey, mom, dad, I'm bisexual? And this point here, where he's talking to his dad and he says, I just know that it's different when it's your own kid. That may not be true in Alex's case, but it absolutely is true in a lot of cases. A lot of cases. It's different. Even the parents who look the most supportive on the outside can get weirded out when it's their own kid, or dramatically not supportive when it is their own kid all of a sudden. It is different when it strikes at home. And this is something that's important to remember. Even if you walk around saying, oh, I completely support the gays and I completely support everything, love is love, if you don't expressly tell your kid that you're going to love them no matter what, no matter their sexual orientation, if you don't expressly say that to them, and you don't give them the education and the information to know and recognize what they are, they still might not realize that you're going to support them because there's so much out there that tells them otherwise. Her Majesty is annoyed, but pleased Henry has finally found himself a girlfriend. When your kid that you suspect is gay brings home a partner of the opposite sex and you throw a party, you get very excited that they finally brought home an appropriate partner. That keeps kids in the closet. It keeps them from accepting who they are, whether it's cases like Henry where it's a facade, or cases like Alex where he is bisexual. I know that this has happened to at least a couple of friends of mine where they kind of tell their parents, Mom, Dad, I'm gay, and then they bring home an opposite sex partner later on in life, and the parents' reaction is a disaster. Whether or not that child is identifying as bi or bringing home this partner as a beard, that doesn't encourage them to accept who they are. It doesn't encourage them to love themselves and choose a partner because they want to be with them. It doesn't show them that you are a supportive parent. In order to show them that you're a supportive parent, you have to just take a step back. And if they want to talk to you about it, or you want to talk to them about it, talk to them about it in a sensitive way that doesn't judge them. It's like, so what, I thought you were gay. Why are you dating a boy now? Don't do that, because then they have to explain bisexuality to you. No, you should already know that yourself. Well, hold on. You're gay and you're dating a boy, but you're still identifying as gay? I don't understand that. You don't have to, you know? You don't have to. But if this is your adult child, Henry's 22, remember, 23 in some cases. If this is your adult child and you're not sure about what's going on with their identity or their romantic relationship, you can have a conversation with them about it, but also you don't necessarily have to. Don't be all like, oh, well, I guess it was just a phase, you know, I see that you made a whole big stink about being gay and now you're just dating a guy, like, what's the like, I guess it was just a phase. Do not do that. It was not, okay? That's my rant about that. A tweet. I knew it, Alex was gay, I told you bitches. What am I gonna say about this? You know what I'm gonna say about this, right? Alex isn't gay. Alex isn't gay. Alex is bi. Alex says on multiple occasions that he's bi, including one where he is on national television giving an official message from the White House. Alex is bisexual. Saying someone is gay when they're actually bisexual, what do we call that? Bisexual erasure. That's right. Why does this contribute to keeping kids in the closet? Bisexuals are in the closet in big numbers. Erasing bisexuality is one of the things that allows bisexual people to meet fewer bisexual people or hear about them or know about them. David Bowie being interviewed and being asked, are you bisexual? And then repeatedly saying, yes, I am. And then them saying, okay, but does that mean that you're really gay? Talking about Freddie Mercury as a gay icon. These things remove the visibility that needs to reach people who need to understand what they are. And that is how it keeps bisexuals in the closet. And also because they're worried about the reaction people will have to them coming out as bisexual. What if it's one of their past partners who is going to come out and say, oh my god, you're really gay now? Well, was our relationship a lie? Or the parents that are going to be super excited that they brought home an opposite sex partner. Obviously, in the context of the book, this is a throwaway comment, a tweet in a sea of awful comments and tweets and media coverage. And it's very subtle, but I wanted to bring it up for that exact reason. The Queen, and why you seem set on disrupting my efforts to restore it by demanding I summit with some boy. Here, a nasty lilt to her polite tone under which Alex can hear epithets for everything from his race to his sexuality. Oh boy. You don't even have to say explicitly that you're homophobic or biphobic or transphobic. It can come through in your tone when you look at the queer person and you're talking about them. So be careful and learn and grow and be open to a person you thought you knew really well not being who you thought they were, or changing, or be open and accepting and educate kids. Give them information and don't keep them in the closet, okay? I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and I know that I really enjoyed reading Red, White, and Royal Blue. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. I cannot recommend it enough. Like, seriously, go read it. If you enjoy the content that I make, please hit the subscribe. If you want to support me as a content creator, please buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description. If you'd like to check out my writing, my website is all over the channel. There's a lot of stuff you can read on my website for free. And I'll see you around the tube. Okay, bye!